Good evening, everybody. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kevin Ross, and I am the Pacific Northwest District Chair for the FRC program this year. And joining me on the line is Kevin Reed, who is affectionately known as, we call each other the other Kevin. Kevin's been a longtime member of Washington First Robotics, one of the original founding members, actually. And also on the line is Adrian Rimey, who's our FRC program coordinator. And we are talking about the Shorewood District event tonight. So hopefully we will be able to inform you how to arrive and do those sorts of things. This is a GoToWebinar, and we're going to go fairly quickly. Your microphone is muted by default. If you have any questions, you can use the little raise hand button, or you can even better type a quick question into the question box, and we'll do our best to keep up with those and answer them for you as we go. We will be posting these slides up on our website along with a recording of the video in case you need to refer back to it or if somebody wanted to hear what we had to say. An overview of tonight's briefing. We're going to deal with all of the very event-specific information first. The general logistics, how to arrive, how to depart, and those sorts of things. I know that many of you have already attended other briefings, so after we get done with the load-in, load-out instructions, if you feel the need to leave and go do something more fun, the last half of this presentation is a repeat, so you probably have already heard most of that before. I will not be offended if you leave, if you want to leave early. So with that out of the way, let me make sure that everybody is aware of a few things. First of all, before you arrive at this event, if you have not already done so, we need you to go register on our website at www.firstwa.org. And what we need you to do is to tell us some basic information, whether you need a pit table. If you don't tell us you need a pit table, we assume you don't want one. And so if you're expecting to have a pit table, you definitely want to register. We will need you to register and tell us either way, actually. So if you go up to firstwa.org and you go to FRC District Model in the little check-in tab right here, you can find a little form to fill in and give us your team number. We'd appreciate if you tell us how many students you think you're bringing, how many mentors. You know, we realize that maybe an approximate number, but as close as you can get is great. And then we want you to tell us whether or not you want a pit table and whether you are going to adhere to our 3-inch wheel rule. And also you are selecting the Shorewood High School event right there. Okay, pretty straightforward. If you can feel free to do that while I'm talking tonight. We'd really appreciate your help. The other thing that I want, while I've got the website open here, is we also want you to realize there are a supplemental set of rules. You can find them under District Model, PNW District Supplemental Rules, and it goes into much higher detail than I'm going to go into things like cart and floor protection, the pit rules, power rules, and things that you are expected to bring. Please pay attention to this section in particular. We very much appreciate your assistance in that, and if you don't bring this stuff, you may have an unhappy weekend. All right, so with that, let's go back to our presentation. We'd also like to have a contact number for whoever is in charge of your team while you're going to be on site. All right, where is it that we're going? So we are going to Shorewood High School. It's up on Fremont, up in the Seattle area. It's a very, very nice school. It's a shiny, brand new school, actually. So that is the general vicinity of where you're headed. Hopefully you are able to find that. More specifically, logistics of arriving. So it's on the corner. The school is actually this entire block. It's on the sort of on the corner of 175th and Fremont. For those of you who are used to most of my briefings, I try and give you aerial maps.
Hey,
the
Kev.
last aerial picture that was taken looks like this. But I told
Kev?
you, yeah.
I have the picture with some directions on how to get in and how to park.
Oh, you do? Then
Yes.
we're going to be turning this section over to Kevin Reed. So, Kev, I'm making you the presenter if you're ready.
I am ready.
All right. You, sir, are now the presenter. Show us the goods.
All right. So, hang on just a moment. I got to switch over to the right screen here. There we go. Okay, can everybody see that slide?
I can.
All right, and of course the rest of you are muted, so how the heck would you tell me? All right, if anybody can't see the slide, put something in the chat window. Otherwise, this mirrors what Kev was showing on his screen a moment ago. The difference is this image is slightly updated. Shorewood High School is under construction still as we speak. However, where we showed dirt here, there is now asphalt, which is great. So this is the top of the screen is north. You'll be coming in on North 75th, and when you're ready to drop off your gear and take it into the pit area, you'll come in and go behind the school here on the east side of the building, drive down to the end, and I'll show you an image in a second of what this area I've got outlined in red looks like, but there's a turnaround, an asphalt turnaround, and then there's a bunch of walkways that go into the small gym and the big gym, and the pits are right here inside the building where I'm swirling my mouse on the south side. So this is all walkway, and we don't want you parking in here because it's a very small area, but it is set up so that you could stop momentarily and drop things out of the trailer or a van or any of your vehicles and then take off and let the students carry them inside. We'll have a loadout coordinator, and we can stage vehicles along this long arrow here. So as you arrive, we'll let you get in line, and if it starts to get congested down there, we'll probably hold you back just for a few minutes, but it should be pretty slick to get you in and out. The main parking area is on the west side of the building where I've got this other larger red rectangle. It shows that there's a structure there. It is no longer there, and so the parking is over here. And I know we have Wes on the call, and to be honest, there may be a bit of a parking challenge. We'll get more parking details to you shortly, but at the moment, this is where most likely we'll be parking. There may be parking on the street as well. And then the image I'd like to show you on the next slide, this is the asphalt area that I was referring to. This is looking east, so the walkway that leads, this is the back of the gym, basically, where the pits are. And so this is the turnaround, little concrete area in the center there. So you'll be pulling in here, dropping off your students on these walkways, and then pulling back out. And let me see if Wes is on, and if I can put him on the spot here. He is here. Let me see. Wes, do you have a microphone? I did put him on the spot. Excellent. He's laughing. That's how great it is.
Hi, Wes.
Hi.
Is there any update on the parking? Is anything available more than I saw about a month ago?
There is another parking lot that's been opened up
Okay.
to the west and to the south, so there should be
Okay.
plenty of parking.
Okay. So down toward the bottom of this rectangle I'm showing on the screen, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So you'll be parking on the west side of the school, folks, but loading out on this side, on the east side. If you have any questions, we will get a bit more detail to you later, but that's the basic idea for load in and load out. Thank you very much, Wes. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. Wes is back off the spot, and Kev, I'm ready to turn presenting back over to you if you're ready to take it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I guess, oh, hang on a sec. It's trying to log me in again. Just a second.
Oh, I just made you the presenter.
You did. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
I got it. There we go. So let's, we'll continue on here. So we'd appreciate it, everybody, since we are going to be setting up till 5 o'clock and the pits don't open till 5 o'clock. We appreciate your zeal, and but try not to arrive before 4:30 on Thursday. We're still not going to let you in the building till 5, but if you show up too much earlier than that, you may get in the way of the forklift, and we're really just honestly not ready for you at that point. So you know, arriving at 3, unless you're a volunteer, if you're a legit volunteer, come on down. But if your team is just thinking that you could get in a little bit early, we will boot you back out because we're not ready for you yet. Okay, so we will be setting up right until 5 o'clock, and then we'll open the doors and we'll let you in. We did our first event last weekend, by the way, and it turned out load-in went pretty smoothly in general. I think that we will be having the same experience at your event as well. This event is going to be tight, and we'll be talking about that later, but so keep that in mind a little bit. I'm giving a little heads up to it later in the presentation, but this is going to be one of our biggest events, and also it turns out to be in one of the smaller buildings that we've got access to. So moving on from that, so parking. Now, the school will be closed on Thursday afternoon after 4 o'clock. There is testing earlier in the day, so please don't show up early. You may end up disturbing some folks. So you are able to park around the school, and so this is actually one of the events that will have probably plenty of parking available for you. Trailer parking. Officially, there is no overnight trailer parking, so it'd be best if you took your trailer home with you. Kev, I'm not aware that they were did they give us any restrictions on overnight trailer parking? I just wasn't sure if there wasn't any actually.
I haven't heard anything, and I would not recommend parking your trailer overnight anywhere on the campus or in the surrounding area.
Yeah, this is on Aurora, folks. So it's a lovely area, but it is on Aurora. So when you do park your trailer on Thursday and on Saturday, try and do folks a favor and park a little bit farther away from the school and consume the minimum number of spaces that you can. Please don't pull in with your F-350 and your 25-foot trailer and try and take up 16 parking spots. We'd appreciate it if you wouldn't do that. As always, we have absolutely no control over street parking. So if you do park on the street, you should park legally and do so. And if you end up with having issues with that, our condolences, but there's absolutely nothing we can do to help you. All right. Bus transportation. Kev, or actually maybe Wes is going to know this. Can you unmute Wes again?
Yep, hang on just a sec. Poor Wes.
That's okay.
Okay, Wes, sorry, we're putting you back on the spot.
Hey, Wes. So is there a separate bus lane?
There is on the front parking lots, but I was just talking to the head of security today, and they're looking at opening up the old student lot, which is basically a construction lot right now, just directly south of the gym. And if they did that, people would be entering off of 170th or 170th and parking there. I will know in a few more days if they open that for buses, and if they do, there is tons of room to park buses over there.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Just to be clear, everybody, the whole site's still under construction on multiple sides. That's why there's a lot of uncertainty here, because you never know. We've been waiting to see how far the construction folks will get and where we can get access to, which is why it's still a little bit unknown. So that's what's going on.
Yep.
Thank you, Wes.
We'll be flexible, and in general, we will have people directing traffic out there. So just follow their instructions. If there are minor changes, we'll either have signs or folks directing you where to go. There's only 36 teams, so this isn't an enormous event like some of us are used to in Seattle. So it should go pretty quickly. So food. The school will have a concession stand open on Friday and Saturday, so you're welcome to take advantage of that, and I believe it's standard concession sort of fare. You are also allowed to bring your own food with you. So, the school is closed, so I don't think their food service is open. I'm now pausing for Kev to jump in and tell me whether I'm right or wrong.
As far as I know, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. But the cafeteria will be open for eating. There's a very strong rule or /request /emphatic please from the school not to do anything with your robots out in the cafeteria area. It's a very long story, but they're concerned about damage to the concrete out in the cafeteria. And yes, I did say damage to the concrete, and it's a long story involving an issue with the contractor, the cement contractor. So they don't want to damage that floor out there. You are welcome.
The short version is, it's a brand new floor, and they have a brand new coating on it, and it's still curing. So we have to be very, very careful out there so that we don't make damage that remains permanent after we leave.
Yes, yes. That's the sort of thing that they would have put the coating on and left the building unoccupied for a month, but that isn't what happened. So anyway, it is a brand new school. It is a lovely facility, by the way. This is really a nice school, folks. So, but it is brand new, so please be respectful to the fact that they're still in, oh my God, somebody may have put a small scratch in the floor mode. they haven't gotten a dent in their new car yet. Boxed lunches should be available. We are working on that still. We expect to have an order form up on Sunday. So you can keep an eye on that. They'd like you to order by 3/18, which is a Tuesday. So if you look on the event page on our website, and that event page, if you want to find it, is under FRC District Model. If you come down to Shorewood District Event Week 4, this is the specific day or specifics for this particular event. So you're welcome to peruse that. Down here at the bottom, you will eventually find the food order form as well as the slides from this presentation. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Now, we also, of course, ask that you help us out by cleaning up after yourself. We have promised the school that First People are amazing, outstanding, gracious, and professional, and they don't require an entire full-time staff of custodians to clean up after them. That's that's an enormous expense for us that we're trying to mitigate by relying on you to not be a pig. Okay, so appreciate that. About pit power, this facility, the pits are going to be a little different here. There'll be a main pit area, and then there's going to be some auxiliary pits that are actually in the main gym. It's a long story why we're having to do that, but that is what we're having to do. So we are making some fairly long runs with our generator cables. We should be fine. Everybody who panicked about this last week, turned out Auburn Mountain View, we had no problems with the amount of power that teams were drawing. So if you come expecting to do about 400 watts, you're going to be in fine shape. It actually turns out most of the teams were doing less than 200, even with a couple of battery chargers. Having said that, there is a limit. 2,400 watts per 6 teams, basically, and so watch out for things. Don't expect to bring a couple of horsepower motor like a compressor or something with you. It's going to fail. Be energy conscious is that actually what we're asking. So high school gyms, and this one's no exception, typically don't have enough power in them. We did run into power issues in the gym on Saturday, or actually last Friday. So the field really does take a lot of energy between the AV and the FMS system, and we found out that on Friday it caused about an hour delay while we had to rewire some stuff. So we'd appreciate your really paying attention to this last rule. If you plug something in while you're in the main gymnasium to one of the outlets on the wall, we will take it away. We will put it in one of our road cases, and we won't give it back to you till Saturday night. I don't care if it's your driver's station, your battery chargers. We just have to be really sticky about this. So you have been warned about that. We appreciate your cooperation. All right. That... I don't think I forgot the wheel slide, but I think it may be coming up later. If not, I will refer to it again. So that ends the event-specific part, and I'm now going to delve into the entire rest of the event. But before I do that, I'm going to check for some questions. Can things be plugged into the wall outlets in the pit area? No. No overnight parking is suggested for sure, is what Wes said. So yeah, Brett, we want the teams to use the power that we're providing you. We're going to end up with resource allocation problems with the 4 outlets that are in that gym. If people start using them, it just gets ugly. So generally, no, don't plug yourself into the wall power. Okay.
Hey,
all
Kev,
right. Go ahead, Kev.
You did mention the 3-inch wheels is on the slide early in the beginning when you were talking about the form and filling everything out. So you just mentioned it briefly.
Yes. Yes.
And you have a lot more detail coming after the loadout stuff. Yeah.
And I believe I have actually. Let's see. I can use this button and tell you whether I remember to put that in later. Otherwise. Oh yeah. It's a slide coming soon. In fact, actually, I'm going to jump to it right now while we're thinking about it. So This is true of all of our district events this year. We have some requirements for the wheels on your equipment. We have things called yellow jackets. They are cable covers. You've probably seen them. You know, they allow trucks to drive over wires. We use a lot of them. In fact, we're bringing almost 60 of them with us. They are 2 inches tall. In order to get over them, we originally said that you needed 3-inch diameter wheels. We will allow you to bring 3-inch diameter wheels. However, if you're going to make a modification anyway, and you haven't done so yet, I would recommend 5-inch wheels. It turns out even the 3-inch wheels, we're having a really difficult time in Auburn. So if you know, we're not going to kick you out if you have 3-inch wheels, but if you're going to have to modify anyway, 5 or even 6 is good. It's just hard to get over these things. Anything less than 3 is a goner. It just isn't going to work. So we're going to be really sticky about this. We are on somebody's gymnasium floor, and especially this particular school, it is a brand new gymnasium floor, and again, they haven't dented their car yet, so they keep shining it up every afternoon, which is fine. This is exciting for them. They have a new school. We will get charged about $22,000 to refinish the basketball court. I would hate to hand that bill to your team for not following our rules. So there you go. Please use good wheels, soft rubber, synthetics. We'd appreciate that. Hard wheels or steel wheels will not be allowed. So if you have one of those cheap Husky toolboxes, even though it's got 3 or 4 or 5-inch wheels, if they're those ugly ABS plastic things that get jammed if there's a cable tie in front of them, we're going to ask you to not bring those into the building. In no circumstances do any wheels be less than 3 inches. It puts too much of a load on the floors. And again, we have floor protection tarps down, so we're pretty good about scuffs and such, but there are limits to what we can do. Okay, so there you go. We appreciate that. We did pretty good. There was one minor little scrape at Auburn Mountain View this weekend. It was right at the edge near the door, but we still were kind of embarrassed by that. They're going to be nice and not charge us for it. Oops, now I got to go back to the. Okay, so I am missing. Hang on a sec. For some reason I think I missed another slide. Yeah. Hey, cool. I deleted the slide. All right. So, so the overview of the event. Thursday is inspection day. Notice it doesn't say final build day. Notice it doesn't say work on your robot all day long day. These are different events. This is different than what some of the veterans have been to in the past. We are expecting you to show up with your robot ready for inspection and ready to play. So take advantage of the 6-hour robot access period. Read about it in the rules. It's in the administrative rules, section 5.6. You're allowed to take your robot out of the bag for 6 hours. You have to do it in a certain minimum block size, so check that out. But we are expecting you to finish your robot at home. So if you're planning on bringing 45 pounds of withheld equipment or withheld robot parts, you are making a very big error. You should have put those on at home and brought them with you. There is not enough time for you to work on your robot and work on your 45 pounds and then pass inspection. You are really expected to show up, pass inspection, then play. It went fine last weekend. We expect to go fine again all subsequent weekends. But you know, if you finish your robot at home. A couple of weeks ago, I had sent out a link to the document that is the inspector's checklist. Your team should be running through that checklist at home. Please be sure to do so. It will really save you a great deal of time. So on Thursday, team arrival and inspections. You'll be there from 5 to 10 p.m. Friday, the field is going to open around 8:30 a.m. for practice matches and run till about 11 or so. Saturday, we run qualification matches just like a good old first regional event. And Saturday afternoon will be the final rounds and getting ready to go. All right. So once again, your primary reason for being there on Thursday night is to pass inspection, period. The practice field will be open, but the reality is that we want you to be working on inspection rather than practicing. Okay. Don't be bashful about asking for help, especially if you're a newer team and you're stuck. Ask a lower numbered team for a little bit of assistance, and they'll be happy to provide it for you. The pits open at 5. You have to have safety glasses on. Wait for clearance. Even if the school's open or if you found an open door somewhere, you're not allowed into the building until 5. We will graciously but firmly ask you to leave. So just do us a favor and hang out and wait for us to come and get you. You must provide safety glasses for everybody on your team. All right, what else do we got? You know, the district model is all about doing less stuff better, and so I want to kind of hammer this home a little bit. Is, you know, these events are a lot smaller than what you might be used to. It is still a full-size field. It runs the same as an FRC regional event, but physically the spaces that we're in are much, much smaller than what you might be used to. So it's something for you to consider. We love the fact that you've got amazing pit displays. You've got, you know, you've got your designs all worked out. Is there a way that you could prune that down a little bit and save the really big guns for Portland where there's more space? You know, so, and the reasons are we're there for an entire day less. You're only there really for about 2.5 days. And, you know, there's a lot of setup time involved in some of your pits. So just consider that. Now, if you want to bring your full pit, that is entirely up to you, and we accept it and we'll love you for it. Come be your team, but, you know, at the same time, just logistics sort of demand that you sort of consider that. Okay. The pits are going to be tight. The pits at Shorewood are going to be 10 foot by 10 foot, but the IOAs are going to be about maybe 9 feet wide in most places. Some places might be a little skinnier than that. So keep that in mind. This is not like Seattle or EWU or Central. This is much, much, much smaller than that. Okay. Thank you for that. When your team does arrive on Thursday, please come check in. We'll give you your driver buttons. We do need you to bring the required forms from Tim's and consent forms for anybody who hasn't filled one in yet. And yep, big lag on the computer. Who to bring on Thursday? Well, so it turns out Thursday, like I said, is all about passing inspection. The field, we're going to be setting up the field until well into the evening, so the gym is really not a great place. The pits are going to be a little bit squished tight. So, you know, if you have the ability to leave the bulk of your team at home and only bring the core mentors and drivers and builders, and maybe some of the auxiliary folks could wait to come on Friday, you might be happier. Having said that, if your logistics are such that it makes sense for you to bring your entire team with you, because you might be traveling from a distance, by all means do so. They are 100% welcome. We're not going to turn anybody away. But it will be a little bit boring for the auxiliary students. There's nothing really going on for them to see. So it is definitely not a spectator day. I wouldn't invite your parents and family to come on Thursday. There's just nothing happening. It's a really kind of a work session. All right. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Come on, computer. Oh, I'm going to have to talk to my wife. I think I should get a new computer, don't you? Yeah. All right. Veteran teams. This is going to start to get towards the end of our season. We're now past the halfway mark for this event. The spare parts bin, we have one. It's the same spare parts bin you would expect at a first regional. It, however, has been on the road. This will be the 4th week that it will have been on the road. It will start to run out of some supplies. So if you don't mind, if you've got some extras, you know, some sensors, motor controllers, motors, you know, things that you would think would be commonly needed supplies, if you wanted to pack a couple of extras in a box and stash it in your pit for the ability to loan it to somebody, we'd appreciate it. And I mean loan. I mean, we don't expect you to give your supplies away, but by the same token, it's a gracious professional to help another team when they're in need. So a loan of a motor controller would be greatly appreciated. Many teams still, as always, need help with programming. So if you've got if you're able to help out, maybe your more experienced programmers, if they have nothing else to do, could wander over to some of the higher numbered teams and see how they're doing and if they need any assistance. Appreciate that greatly. And really, I did click the button. There it goes. Wow. Okay, so we do have a machine shop. It is it's a machine shop that has a small lathe and a mill and some various other tools, and we do have a TIG welder. To use it, you need to submit your job with the machine shop staff, and they will take care of it for you. You're not authorized to use the tools or borrow our tools, so if you would appreciate and follow those rules, we'd all have a better day for it. In general, they are not going to loan you any of their tools. If you need to borrow tools, you should be asking your neighbors or going to the machine shop and having them do whatever needs doing for you. Okay? Ooh, we're getting close to the end here. I really need to get a new computer. Ah, there we go. Honey, it's for the children. All right, inspection. So the 4 steps. We need you to size and weigh in at the inspection station. So they'll have a measuring tape, measure the perimeter of your robot, and also weigh in. We have the official scales from FIRST, and they have been calibrated, and they are very, very accurate. You'll then need to do a software inspection with the CSA station, and then a physical robot inspection will happen. Usually we do that in your pit, and you can sign up for that immediately when you walk in the room at 5 p.m. As you come in, you're probably going to get traipsed by the inspectors. They're going to be watching to make sure that your bag is sealed and that you don't appear to be carrying 400 pounds worth of spare parts. And then, of course, we always require you to connect to the field controller at least once. And that'll probably either happen later on Thursday or Friday morning. Remember that the inspectors really are here to help you, so don't be afraid of them. Make use of them early. We really appreciate your doing that. You'll find that they are mostly seasoned mentors. They've been there, they've done that, so they are a great resource for your team to use. There are a number of other slides I'm going to skip over here, but you're welcome to read them. They talk a little bit more in detail about some of the tips to pass inspection and such. The one thing I will tell you, though, is that it is rare for a robot to pass the first time. So even the most experienced teams usually end up with 1 or 2 things they have to get fixed. So you want to get that in that inspection line and get inspected really, really early so that you know what it is that you need to fix. And so we really appreciate your help in expediting that. All right, practice rounds on Friday. We are a new change as of last week. We realized that at these smaller events, we are no longer going to schedule practice matches. The teams almost never make it on time, so it will be a first come, first serve line. We will, however, give precedence to any team in line who has not connected to the field yet. That will run from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Friday. So you're welcome to just go out there and hop in line. We will have a process for you to go up and tell the queuing people that you have not connected to the field yet, and they will ensure that you move to the front of the queue. Your gracious professionalism when teams are going to jump in front of you is greatly appreciated, and it will help our day go generally much better. Okay. I belabor this point often, but it worked well last week, so I'm going to belabor it for your guys' event. Thursday really is no longer final build day. Final build day is at your house, at your shop. So use the 6 hours of robot access period very wisely and get everything that you need to finish done at home. It's actually a nice feature because you've got your tools, you've got your environment, and you can spread it out over a couple of days. You can open it up for 2 hours on one day and 2 hours the next day, and it's a much more convenient way of doing it rather than showing up and being in a total panic the whole time. Do pay attention to the amount of time you're out of the bag. It's very difficult to keep that secret. So gracious professionalism and integrity and honesty are an important part of FIRST. So please adhere to that 6-hour rule. And if you need help, please do ask for it. All right? Ooh, we're getting down to the end. On the end of Thursday, the pits are going to close at 10 p.m. Remember, our volunteers have been there all day long. They need to be back at 7 a.m. To make a great day for you on Friday. So you really must be out of the building before 10 p.m. The building will close. We will escort you out of the building immediately at 10 o'clock. Actually, we'll start pestering you a little before that. And it's a no exceptions thing. You are done at 10 o'clock. The power of the generator shuts off. No matter what state you're in, off goes the generator, and there will not be any power overnight at these events. So keep that in mind. The pit power does turn off overnight, and so if you need to charge batteries and do those sorts of things, you're going to want to take those home with you. Okay. I think that is the Reader's Digest version of this whole thing. I welcome your questions if you have any. Otherwise, that's kind of in a nutshell what it is that is going to happen. Thank you so much for attending, and thank you to Kevin Reed for being the event coordinator at this site, and for Wes for being a great site host, and Adrian for managing to pull all this together. We had an outstanding time at Auburn Mountain View. We're really excited about the whole district model and what it means for our teams being able to play more and play a little closer to home. So we really, really hope that you guys find this enjoyable experience as they did in the first week. All right. With that, I'll take any questions. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to look at our, let's see. Let me open up the question window. There it is. See if anybody's got any hands raised. Warren, you have your hand up. I don't know if you intended for that, but I'm going to unmute you anyway. Hi, Warren. How are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I did not have my hand up.
You got your hand up? Okay. I'm going to lower your hand then.
Oh, thank you.
Nice to hear from you. All right. I think actually that was the only person with their hand up. So unless there's any other questions in like the next five or 10 seconds, I think we'll call it a night. All right. Well done, everybody. Be sure to visit our site and check in with us, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Good night.